So, a friend of mine had just gone back to work after working remotely for months. I just thought I'd share this story with you. And she was feeling pretty tired and was talking to her coworker. And the coworker says, "Watch, I can get the boss to give me the day off." And my friend, she's totally indignant. Put that in your vocabulary, indignant, and says, "Oh, yeah? How are you going to do that?" So her coworker says, "You just wait and see." Then the coworker hangs upside down from the ceiling, and the boss comes in and says, "What the heck are you doing?" The coworker replies, "I'm a light bulb." The boss then says, "You have clearly gone crazy from working at home too much. I think you should take the rest of the day off." Well, so she left. And my friend, she starts following her coworker out, and the boss says, "Well, where do you think you're going?" My friend replies, "Hey, I'm going home too. You can't expect me to work in the dark." I know. It's probably not the best joke ever told, but I thought it was funny. Anyway, that is a good example of teamwork. And teamwork and making an impact at work is what this is all about. This is Talking Tips with Dennis. Stay tuned for more. So, welcome to Talking Tips. I know we started this kind of with a little experiment last week or a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to give it a shot and see if we can't dig a little deeper and give you some tips during the week to help you make a splash in your work life and in your day to day life and get to know how to think, how to speak, and how to improve your English in real life. So, starting today, we're talking 5 tips to help you win friends and influence people in your office. Now, look, a lot of people that I know, a lot of my clients, they're looking to get new jobs or they're looking to start new jobs, and they've a lot of them have asked me to help them get off on the right foot with their coworkers. So I worked up this presentation on the 5 tips on how to win friends and influence people that you work with. And we'll start with I'm going to give you 5 tips to boost your business socializing skills in English. Because when you go to work, it's all about socializing. You have to learn how to socialize when you're at work because that's who you have to deal with, whether you're working remotely or whether you are working in an office. These days, fewer and fewer people are working in offices, but there are people still there. So let's start with this one. Develop a workplace personality. Look, we are all different people. We're different kinds of people. Uh, and it doesn't matter. And we're all different depending on where we are, right? I mean, if you're with your family, with your friends, or whatever, your significant other, we all respond differently. And in order to socialize successfully in the English language and in English language workplaces, it's important to have a workplace personality. Okay. I'm not saying that you want to be a two-faced person. No, I'm saying you need to consider how you want to be perceived by other people, by the people that you work with. Do you want them to think of you as the team leader who everyone looks up to, as someone who's charming and friendly? Or do you want to be thought of as the quiet thinker who everyone can rely on um, to do the job? Do you work in a job that's here's a buzzword for you, forward facing, meaning that you have to gain clients' attention and trust? Are you dealing with clients on a regular basis? So, the first thing you want to do is make a list of the attributes, the characteristics, the things that you would like to develop, and then figure out the type of person that you want to be at work. Okay. Start by taking the little tiny steps to reach your ideal office personality. So, what does that mean? That means start imagining um, how you want to be. Let's imagine that you want to be known as the kind of person that has leadership potential. Okay, so look at some leadership books and learn some positive English words, and then make it a habit to compliment one of your coworkers every day. I mean, not just one, but compliment someone every day. That's going to give you the personality, that's going to give you the image of a leader, someone who takes charge and leads and who's very kind and courteous and charming. So let's imagine you want to boost your social interactions. Okay. If you want to boost your social interactions every month, try to attend a professional network marketing or a not network marketing, networking event, and practice presenting yourself and your company in English. So you need to learn how to do elevator pitches and things like that. That is all about presenting a different personality or a personality type that you want to be. So decide what type of person you want to be. Develop your personality. Number two, if you're in an office, you you really need to have something to talk about. If you don't have something to talk about, what's the point, right? Uh, there are people that you're going to meet who they make meaningful talks seem like they're effortless. Okay. We call those people social butterflies. They're people who are very good. They always excel in social situations. But to become a great conversationalist, that means that you're someone who talks well, it requires talent. Not just talent, but it also requires practice. Practice, practice, practice. I love that expression. Practice, practice, practice. It's what we all have to do, right? We all have to practice. So, if you want to get to a point where you can start a conversation in English with anyone, okay? You don't want to feel bashful or embarrassed or ashamed when you're conversing with your boss, a professional in your business, or a potential client. Okay. So start by preparing English conversations and topics before your next social event. Okay. That's the easiest thing you can do. So instead of relying on other people to keep a conversation going and keeping it lively, you can do it yourself by having a few anecdotes. Those are called anecdotes or short stories. Like I started at the beginning, it's an anecdote, it's a short story. That's a good conversation starter. They could be amusing events at work, recent project achievements, failures, something about yourself, and, all kinds of things. But if you don't like talking about yourself, another way that you can start up conversations is stay up with the latest business news, the latest current events, and then engage in an open-ended conversation or discussion about them. This is going to give you the added benefit of appearing very well informed and knowledgeable, as well as friendly. So always have something to talk about. It is really helpful if you want to be remembered as the wise person, the person in the room who knows what they're talking about. Always have something to talk about. All right. I love this little bit of advice. Okay. Whenever it's possible, always offer to assist your coworkers. Now, like, this is a fantastic approach to practice productive socializing. Okay. I love that. Practice productive socializing, because socializing isn't just about talking. It's not about gossip. You want to be productive when you're working. That's why you're paid to be there. Okay. You want to be productive with your time, right? So, so just try to be more aware and mindful of opportunities to help your coworkers. If you see someone having difficulty with a computer or a coffee machine or a copy machine, don't get those two mixed up. Coffee grounds go in one, toner goes in the other. Speaking of coffee. Mm. You go up to them, you approach them, and you see if that you can be of assistance, if you can help. Another thing you can do is participate in fundraising initiatives as a volunteer. A lot of companies do that, especially if you work for an American company or a European company. You might find that they have occasional fundraising drives. Maybe they have athletic events where they raise funds. Be helpful. Be the person who comes up with solutions as well. If there's ever a group discussion about anything, you want to be the idea person coming up with solutions. As much as it's possible, show your enthusiasm and support for your coworkers. Okay. Even if you can't do favors for them, be kind, be friendly, be responsible, and your coworkers will like you and they will want to work with you. All right. And being, supportive also means being supportive of coworkers who have family, children, you know, ask them, hey, how are your kids doing? That's really great. Ask them, how's your husband? How's your wife? How's your family? That is a big help towards improving your likability at the office. It's not just about asking if you want to help. You might say something like, hey, look, I saw you're having problems with such and such. I saw you're having problems with um, an email, or I saw you were having problems with a sale. You might want to say, is there any way I can help out? Can I assist you in any way? And then see where it goes. That's very, very helpful. Whenever possible, offer to assist your coworkers. All right. Ah, yes. Isn't that what I'm always saying? Ask more questions. Ask more questions. You should always be looking for questions to ask, and they should be thoughtful questions because good inquiries, those are questions, they are the supply to all social situations. They're going to give every situation a vital boost. Boom! It's like I mentioned in one of my other previous videos. I don't remember which one it was. One of my first. When you are in a conversation, asking the question is like putting a log onto a fire that's burning low. That is going to bring the fire back to life. Questions, if they're well thought out, will encourage everyone in the room to think and to engage in the discussion. Okay. They keep conversations from becoming boring and monotonous. Okay. Remember, when you ask questions, they should be clear and precise. Okay. Uh, Also, when you ask questions, do not interrupt other people. You don't want to do that. And when it's your chance to talk, that's when you want to be direct and be upbeat. You don't want to criticize or be too critical when you're talking. Just ask your questions and things like that. Now, if you are attending a conference or a social event, you want to do some preliminary study, some extra work in advance before the event. So you know what's happening, what's going on, what's going to be going on. Um, Consider the themes that you'll address while you're there and what questions that you might be able to ask that will add value to the conversations that you're hearing and that you can expect to see and hear at the event. And you can also ask questions. I love this. If you are in a presentation, ask questions either during the presentation or after the presentation. This is going to um, help you to get feedback from your audience while you're doing the presentation. Also, if you're just having a conversation, um, ask if there, or excuse me, back to the presentation, ask a question on a topic that you thought was important but wasn't addressed. Okay. Like maybe it's after something that you saw, and ask someone, hey, I was watching this. I do this in my news videos all the time. I ask questions like, there was nothing written in the article about this, but I was wondering, did you catch it? Did you notice that? And ask what ways that you might improve it, or what other persons might think about it. Just some ideas for the types of questions that you might ask. All right. All right. The next on our list, and finally, this is a big one because most people forget. I mean, most people forget that the first time that you meet someone is not necessarily the last time that you're going to meet them. It's so you should never consider every social interaction to be a one-time occurrence. Okay, so keeping in touch with other professionals, even if you don't work together, it's one of the best methods to improve your social skills for work, for your business English. Okay, meeting people, go figure, meeting people, it'll give you someone to practice your English with at the very least. Okay, exchanging your contact information. Look, this is going to help you practice your English conversations on a regular basis. Uh, Plus, because nowadays most of your socializing is done online, you get a lot of practice with your written English and your email skills. So here's what you do. When you first meet someone, don't don't go straight in and say, "Hey, can I have your phone number?" Don't ask for their phone number. Before you even bring up the subject of contact information, you want to talk for a bit, okay? Um, Make sure that you actually like talking to them. It's kind of important. If you don't like talking to them, you really aren't going to want their contact information. Um, and these days, instead of a phone number, think of other options. You could ask for, an email address. Email address is a little bit less intimate than a phone number or a Facebook page or something like that. Ask for an email address or a website, and you should always keep your business card, at least 10 or 20 with you, especially more if you're going to a conference. Keep those with you so you can just give out your contact information to them as kind of an icebreaker. Say, hey, this has been a really interesting, fascinating conversation. I'd like to keep in touch. Is that okay? And then you hand them your card. Hey, here you go. Um, or it was a real pleasure to meet you. Hey, don't hesitate to contact me if you need my assistance or you need any help from my company. Okay. And then, now here's a big one. When they give you your contact information, this is the most important thing. Pay attention. Uh, don't forget to follow up. Okay. But before you send an email, you're not just going to run back to the office and go, oh, send my email. No, no, no. Okay. Wait a few days. Okay. A few days. You don't want to be that eager beaver. Wait a few days, usually a week. Okay. Now, when you do write your email, you want to make sure that you are courteous and polite. Use formal language. If you want to meet them for lunch or coffee, make sure you specify, be specific. Why do you want to meet them? Put it in the subject section. Um, Begin by introducing yourself. Remind them of when and where you met. After that, make a meeting proposal. Okay. It's a proposal. Hey, would you like to meet for coffee? Um, you can include a tentative date. I think including a date is very important because it lets them know what your schedule is. So you could say, would you like to meet for coffee? We can meet on Tuesday or Thursday, or a location, but make sure that it's clear to them that they are free to change it at any time. Wow. This is a long 5-minute video, and I think I've covered a lot of information. All right. So, what is the final takeaway here? My final reminder, make sure I get this full screen so you can say, so you can see the whole shebang. What is the whole shebang? All right. The best method of all to improve your social skills is to just engage in conversation with other people. Okay. Attend more networking events. I mentioned that. Speak up more in the office. Don't be afraid. Don't be timid. Speak up. Okay. It may appear like a real challenge at first, and you're going to make mistakes without a doubt, but it is critical to learn from your mistakes. No one ever got better by starting out perfect because no one ever started out perfect. You only get better by making mistakes and learning from them. Okay. And you expand your intellectual horizons from there. Remember, Not everyone you approach is going to be eager to connect with you. So don't take it personally if they aren't. Set little goals for yourself and reward yourself when you achieve them. Like, hey, I want to meet one person a day, or I want to meet 2 people a day, or something like that, or I want to meet X number of people this week. Little goals for yourself, and give yourself a small reward when you achieve them. And remember, if you do it consistently, it will soon become second nature, and then you can be known as the social butterfly. If that's what you want to be known as, that's what you'll be known as. All right, listen, thank you very much for joining me today. Some people have asked me for tips like this, so I appreciate you joining me. I'm going to leave you this one little nugget of wisdom. Some people brighten a room wherever they go, and others whenever they go. Let that sink in. Just remember, you get to decide which one you're going to be. Thanks for spending time with me on this Talking Tips Tuesday. Drop a comment down in the comment box down below. Let me know what you learned in this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more just like this. And remember, learning is an adventure, and that's what it's all about. That's it for today. If you liked this video and learned something, share it with your friends so they can learn something too. Leave us a comment and tell us what you learned. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any tips. And as always, remember, learning is meant to be an adventure, because that's what it's all about.